I'm Ashley Simich.
And I'm Charis Madison.
This video that you're about to see contains some controversial subject matter, and it is our job right now to disclose to you, the viewer, that these views are not necessarily adequately representative of our views collectively or of the views of Hendrix College. Enjoy the viewing.
Here, let me pause the show for a second.
Charis, what the heck? Why did you pause the show?
Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that all the women in the show are like constantly sexualized, but the men don't even have to show so much as a hairy nipple?
Honest, not really. I mean, girls are always naked anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me.
That's the thing. It should. If you really looked at the show, you would know that we're being forced to look at the show through the male gaze. We are only seeing what the producers and directors think that the white male wants to see.
Yeah, I think you need to calm down a little bit.
Calm.
I thought you liked Game of Thrones.
I love it, no doubt. But that doesn't stop me from noticing the gender differences within the show.
Where is all of this coming from?
My mind. Okay. And my sociology class. I'm kind of learning a lot of things in that class.
Wow, are you actually retaining things in that class?
I mean, like, when you're learning about your own society, it tends to stick. Like, we learn about things in there like cultural appropriation, Columbusing, globalization, sexual ability represented within shows. You know, it's just something that you notice.
Stop! I get it! So is this gonna be a regular thing now, or what?
What, me bringing my newfound knowledge of sociology into everyday life? Yeah, probably.
Fine. Just let me know first before you decide to enlighten my life with sociology next time.
Okay.
Hello everyone, and good morning. This is Sarah Wonderman with Early Morning E-News, and this morning we have with us the talented and inventive Sina Daberman. How about a round of applause, everyone? Thank you, everyone, and thank you so much, Sarah, for having me. It's our pleasure, Sina. Now, do you want to tell our dear audience why you are seated in our featured spot today? Well, guys, my name is Sina Daberman, and I am the proud owner and inventor of the app Pop Mother, or to be more specific, Pop Media on the Rise. Well, there you have it, folks. I know you all know the popular up-and-coming app on which you communicate with your fellow actors, actresses, producers, and directors and have them answer your questions of your own choosing. Well, today, Sina is here to tell us a little bit more about her app and to answer a few questions of ours. Let's get started, shall we? Yes, ma'am, I'm ready. Good. Well, Sina, why don't you start by telling us a little bit more about your app? Of course. Well, like I said before, the name of my app is Pop Mother, or Pop Media on the Rise. Going through life every day with the mind of a sociologist and watching these movies and shows of our present, I often found myself focusing on certain aspects in the shows and movies, like how gender was portrayed and how race was presented. I have many questions about why the producers and directors chose to go represent things the way they did, and if they ever wondered what effect it would have on our society, or even on other societies, as it's no news to everyone that American globalization is becoming a more common phenomenon each day. And one day I just thought to myself, wouldn't it be great to have access to the media community and be able to ask them the questions myself that I can't ask at the moment? Wouldn't it be great to know that they have planned for the future, what changes and similarities they see coming about, and just to let them know the impact that they have on our society? So I started working on an app, and I figured that, it wasn't okay just to have the media community answering our questions. That if they wanted, they should be able to ask us questions too. So the app I developed was basically e-news in an app. But it is a bit more authentic because it comes straight from the mouths of the celebrities themselves. People ask questions about the app, on the app, and the questions with the most likes get placed on the top of the list. And by noon, the questions are open for answering. Everyone is able to answer and ask 10 questions each day, and they can choose subjects like race, gender, social class, sexuality, etc. to choose to answer questions from. There is even an other section where a person can ask a question that may not particularly have to do with any of those certain distinctions I mentioned above. And the director or actor could choose to answer a question from there. Wow, that sounds amazing. Are you on the app? Can I go onto the app and ask you questions about anything? Of course. And in fact, I get over 50 questions a day. Really? Can you give us an example of some of the questions and your response to them? Sure. Well, I often get asked about what I believe the future representation will be and what content in the media I believe will be more popular in the future. And to those people, I always tell them that I'm actually very encouraged by what I'm seeing in the media nowadays. Representation is becoming more open and honest in that we do see more minority groups like the LGBT community and a less of a glossing over of the lower class in the media. Nowadays, we have shows like Scandal, In the Middle, and The Fosters, and Switched at Birth, which are breakthroughs because these shows portray different races, teens with disabilities, and the lower class with positive lights. I believe that America's audience has stopped wanting to be victims of the media's escapism techniques and to see and view the real truths of life. I believe that, over time, our media is going to start creating shows that dig into the nitty-gritty of American life. We want to see more people in our media that we can relate to, right? Which is why I think that our shows will start to have more of an edge, like the show How to Get Away with Murder, and that producers and directors will take note of the show's high ratings and look further into the reason why it's so popular. Wow, that is great insight, Sina. Thank you, Sarah. No problem. Okay. Before you leave, I have another question for you. Earlier, you seemed to be implying that most of America's patrons were either pop culture escapists or pop culture realists. Where do you place yourself in this spectrum? That is a good question, Sarah. I do believe that I am not only a pop culture realist, but I also see myself as someone who will be paving her own way in the pop culture world later on in life. Ah, so a pop culture producer. Exactly. I want to write my own books, produce my own shows that pave the way for the future. Well, that is definitely something to aspire to. Thank you so much for joining us on our show, Sina, and we hope to see you again sometime soon. Thank you, Sarah, and I will be happy to come back anytime. Thank you, America. Goodbye. And we're out.